Welcome folks, beautiful sunny day in Telford, Sunday lunchtime, morning, lunchtime even. Thought we'd just give you a quick tour of where we are with the pond. If you remember from the last video, it was like a battlefield out here, huge piles of soil. We've done a lot of work, done a lot of tidying up, got rid of some of the rubbish. So the spoil pile, if you want to have a quick look at this, this was about 10 foot high and 20 foot deep. So we had actually removed about 10 tonne in total of soil for all the hole that we've dug. Some of that's been taken away, but yeah, we're a lot better now. We're a lot straighter on the garden. So we're still progressing. We've used a lot of the soil pile yesterday to actually backfill or start backfilling around the pond. The pipe that you can probably see down here that I've left empty at the minute, that went from the bottom drain you can see over there all the way across to the old pond, which used to have like a manhole built into it, which was over on the far wall, which we used to purge the bottom drain from. Not particularly looking to use that, but we might be able to connect up to it nearer the hole. So there's already a hole going through the brickwork, so might as well use it. As I say, most of yesterday, as you see, it's was just backfilling, so you know things are looking a lot better now. We couldn't walk around here. This was all starting to fall away, but things are looking a lot better now. So the plan is to somewhere here, I haven't quite decided where yet, but somewhere here is where the air source heater will go, and the air source heater will return at low level. Not particularly planning on going below ground level at the minute, because people have sort of given lots of advice about low level returns stirring up all the muck in the bottom of the pond. But I mean, this is just backfill, so if I want to go down lower I can just dig it out again. It's not going to be a problem. But the return, as I say, the hot water return, shall we say, will go back through the wall there. This will be basically where the filter bay comes out of. It's a bit further over, so it's more like out here, but you can see the extra space we have in front and back, because it'll be the same that side, and then it'll just follow and be, it's about 100 mil short of the line. The yellow line is for the concrete we're putting down. And then we've got the filter bay, which I'll talk to you a bit more about in a minute and tell you why it's looking like why it's so deep and why there's a ton of scaffolding holding up the pipe work. You know, we had a bit of a trial with the soil, but yeah, that's it. I'll speak to you in a bit. So as well as the highs, I thought I'd share some of the lows with you that we're having with this pond build. The main one obviously being the weather, because the weather has been absolutely atrocious. What was meant to be a sort of 3 to 4 week build is on about its 5th month now, something like that, and we just haven't touched a lot of this since Christmas. So while we're in that time, give us a chance to have a quick look, a quick think. I've done lots of replanning, if you see my other videos, and I'll show you the result of that in a minute. But one of the problems that we've actually had is when we came down here to clear this all out and start to get it ready for rendering at some point, we noticed there's a big crack right the way from the bottom drain all the way to the side of the wall. Now you probably can't see it. If I run my finger along it you might be able to, but it's basically what's happened is the pipe underneath wasn't held down properly when we had the concrete pour. The crack is, you know, it's annoying, a bit worrying, but more than that, and you won't be able to see it from up there, but the actual concrete here, it actually bows, so the concrete's not flat. So obviously we've had to come up with a way of fixing this. Lots of options. I mean, we could have just left it, I'm sure it would be strong enough, but you know, I want things to be right. Another option would have been to try and dig all this up, you know, all the fresh concrete up and lay new bottom drain and everything. But what I've come up with is this. So what I've done is I've got a flanged pipe fitting that's about 230mm, so it's basically the same as the inside diameter of the bottom drain. So I've cut it down because it was about 6 inches high, so I've cut it down to about 4.5 inches, and with a ½ inch that's above there, it's giving us it's giving me 5 inches basically. So although I'm going to lose 5 inches, what we're going to do is have another concrete pour and cover the whole of this over flush with that lid, and then we'll know that the concrete is absolutely fine and we're not going to get any issues with it afterwards. So it's you know, it's quite easy to do. The cutting down of this was took about 10 minutes. Put holes all the way around, so obviously I've glued it and welded it because it's the same pressure pipe fitting as the bottom drain. So I think that hopefully will address our problems. As I say, once it's all done, we'll lose about 5 inches. So water line's going to come up to there, which was just over 5 foot, so we're going to be just below 5 foot on that now. So, but at least I know this is right, and it's we fixed this problem. So the other part of the build that's been sort of holding us up a bit has been the filter bay. I say filter bay, as you can clearly see, it's a huge pit. And the reason why it's like this is under normal circumstances, obviously we wouldn't have dug all this out. So I'll just point out some of the obvious. So what we had to do was, the old pond was basically in this area. And when we closed down the pond, we paid a guy to come in, and the idea was that he just dug it all out, basically took all the rubber liner away, took all the bricks away and everything. Didn't really pay much attention to it at the time, but what clearly happened was the guy just literally filled everything in, including the liner, all the bricks. It was about 2 foot above. Everything was still in here basically, and all he'd done is he's pushed it all in, covered it with topsoil, and it wasn't until we started digging that we suddenly realised everything was still in here. I mean, you can still see some of the bricks and everything sticking out, and in a second, well, those 2 bags there are just full of pond liner that we've had to pull out, but because it wasn't properly compacted, we've had to go down until we can hit hard soil. So this is actually concrete, because we've concreted the whole of this just to give us a firm footing to start with. So where we're going to be up to is the yellow line is the concrete that's going to be poured, and that will be about 8 inches deep. But up to here, which is the yellow line on the wall, we're just going to backfill it with concrete rubble or something suitable. So ignore all the scaffolding on the tubes. That's just to give it a bit of stability as it stands at the minute. Stop it moving when some of the soil's going in. And then from the yellow line, which is the top of the rubble, until the top of the white line there, that is the actual concrete slab. Then that the filter house is going to be the base of the filter house, and the other white line on the top of there is the depth of the water. So as I said before, we're going to be at about just under 5 foot of water, but it's just unfortunate we've had such a mess with this. I mean, you can see all the concrete and breeze blocks that we've had to break through from the old pond. So these things come to test us. And the other thing we've had to do is, because of this, where we put the filter pipes coming up from the bottom drain, filter was going to be that way, but this is just so bad under here, we've had to change plan, and the filter bay now will be running this way. So I've had to take the pipes across, up, and then there'll be at some point I'll cut that down once we've got all the filter bay and everything set in concrete. There'll be a 4-inch T on there. The T will come out this way, and there'll be a 4-inch bore valve on, which will then go into the filter, and then this will be extended up to sort of 50mm, 100mm above water level, just so that we can rod the drain if needed, because I am conscious that there's a couple of everything's sweeping bends, which is a positive, but yeah, just not ideal basically. But you know, I've researched it, done water flow tests on it, so it's not going to really restrict the water or anything like that. So that's where we are at the moment. So hopefully the next video you'll see should be all this at least covered in some sort of suitable substrate, ready for the concreting to go in. So the filter bay will actually come out, as I say, and be right out here. So it'll come out from this side as well. About 500mm. The blocks will come back this way. So it'll be a decent size for me to play in when it's all done. Happy days. So this is the bit of the garden that we don't normally see because we tend to focus on that side. As you can see, we've just pulled out all the liner from what was the old pond underneath there. It's been an absolute nightmare, it really has, but it's out now, so happy days. We've got all the blocks piled up ready for the filter house build. These are actually what's left from the original order from ordering the blocks for the pond. And doing scale drawings of the filter house, I've worked out we need 68 blocks, and what we actually have is 68 blocks and a couple of broken ones stacked around the building. So yeah, it's probably not going to work out quite that well. We might need to go and get some more, but you know, the block work's here ready to go. The little ornamental pond that started this all off at the beginning of the year, our little lockdown project. Obviously we had to uproot the decking that it's on because it was over on that side. We've just put it here out of the way at the minute. But this, we definitely going to have it up and running again this year. It needs a good clean, as you can see. But yeah, the whole of that we're going to put back in its original position over there. And I'll tell you more plans about the garden in another video. But yeah, as you can see, even on a day like this, it's so deceptive. In here, it's still frozen. We've still got ice in here. So that will take one heck of a clean out when it comes to putting it back. But you know, we had such success with it last year, growing the little koi on that we bought. That we're definitely getting it up again. Whether it'll just be a grow on outside grow on tank, or whether we just put some you know, some goldfish and things in there like that. But with planting pockets and everything, you know, this is a really good option for people that have got limited space, and I'll do a separate video on that when we're setting it all up again. But yeah, that's the garden. That's where we are. As you can see down the side, we've got tons of plants ready to be planted and everything. As I say, I'll do a separate video on the plans for the garden once we've actually got the pond a bit more advanced. So couldn't finish off the video without taking a look at the fish. Nothing's really changed much in the garage. Filter's still an ornament here. All the pipework and everything is ready to go. A couple of things I've knocked up just in case anybody's interested. Hadn't got a big T-square, set square, 90-degree angle square for when I was doing the marking out of the filter bay. So as anybody knows, a right angle triangle works on a 2, 3, 4 principle. So this was actually the last of the wood from an outside garden umbrella. Just had kicking about, so I just knocked up a quick square, and it was really good because to get the angles for the a 90-degree angle out from the actual pond, literally just stick that against the blockwork and spray a line down there. So 5 minutes to knock up, ingenious and very useful. The other thing I've done as well while I've been messing about is made myself a little trolley. So this is the actual pallet that the individual filter unit came on. Just got a load of just bits from around the garage, a few wheels and things. So reason for that, quite simply, is when we come to move this beast, because it's about 135 kilograms and the weight is all on the drum end. So just help us to obviously put it on there, and then I can just wheel it around the back, save having to get a load of people to give us hand carrying it around there. So we'll see how successful that is. And then the fish. Fish is still doing absolutely great. I mean, you can see how big the shower there is growing. You know, bear in mind he was less than 5 inches. Well, all of them were less than 5 inches when we bought them. I'm hoping you can see through the netting. But yeah, I mean, we're keeping it at 15.5 degrees, something like that. They're eating like it's normal summer, and yeah, they're really happy. It's just be nice to actually get the other pond up and running so we can get them out into their forever home. So, you know, from me, thanks everybody. Mention to everybody that subscribed and given me a thumbs up. Really appreciate that. Numbers are going up slowly, which is fantastic. Lots of people to thank. I won't do it on this video, but lots of people to thank. Lots of videos for you to watch. You know, there's everybody's been so helpful, so full of advice for bits and pieces I've put out there. So I just want to say thank you for everybody that's watching. You know, more videos to come. Hopefully more pond construction to come, which is what I really want to get on with. Yeah, take care of yourselves, you know, stick to the rules. We're nearly out but not quite yet, so enjoy yourselves, and see you next time.